YouTube, it's yourself. It's your local, friendly, not local, non-binary person here. Now, this video has been long awaited. I've been sort of a bit nervous about making it. That, and I've been busy entertaining my friend and my cat and just doing ordinary life stuff, and I'm really sorry for that. But yeah. So, my last video, as some of you may be aware, was talking about sort of interacting with trans exclusionary radical feminists and the sort of futility of it. And then I sort of went on to kind of say that it was bigoted to be a TERF, etc, etc, etc. And I realised something. First of all, I had a comment asking me to define, or not to define, but what was bigoted about being trans exclusionary. And it kind of occurred to me that I should maybe actually make a video kind of defining sort of what bigotry is, and putting it into context, maybe so that people will understand a little bit better, like, about how, not their belief systems, but the way that their belief systems can affect people. Because I am never going to be the person telling you what you should and shouldn't believe. But I will be the person defending people that I feel are being attacked for no just reason. Like in this case. So now I was going to kind of be all fancy and show you definitions of the word bigotry, but my technological issues are still sort of ongoing, in that I don't have a laptop that works, I don't have a phone that really works for editing, etc. at the moment. So I'm going to sort of briefly kind of define it. The internet sort of gave it as a bigotry is kind of taking great / radical exception to people who disagree with your belief systems. However, I am not sure that I agree with that. I think it goes a bit further than that, but I'll go on and sort of explain why in a minute. I do have my trusty notepad. Yes, it is the unicorns and llamas with butterfly wings. I don't get it, but anyway. Excuse me whilst I consult the notes, because, you know, I wrote a lot the other night whilst in a sort of sleepless haze. I've written here, even in more gentle conversation, I'm told that whilst this person doesn't believe that trans women are women, that they don't understand sort of what's bigoted about that. Now, to put it into context of what I believe bigotry to be, especially in this kind of particular circumstance, they are deliberately using terminology that they know will be kind of hurtful to someone who has a specific belief system that disagrees with theirs. So, for instance, a TERF believes that trans women are men. However, trans women, trans people, believe that they are the gender of their identity. So therefore, trying to think of a way of wording this without being too wordy, but therefore the sort of activism there is bigoted because, and the language used is bigoted because they're deliberately using specific language that they know to be hurtful in order to undermine the sort of trans people's perspective. They also use science that isn't real science to do that, but I will possibly go into that in another video, because that's, I could go on with that. But I mean, one of the things that I really take exception with, sort of the kind of turf thing, is that they say that they kind of deliberately say that trans people don't exist, that it's not real, that you can't physically change sex. And again, like I said, I'll go into the science later, but the biggest thing is that medical professionals disagree with that. Government systems disagree. The general public, to a degree, disagrees with the sort of the kind of turf ideals. Now, it's not to say that that's right or wrong, but it should, to my mind, it should make them kind of question the way that they're kind of attacking people for their own beliefs, and then kind of saying, oh, but we feel kind of marginalised and erased because of the way that we believe things, I should say. It just seems a bit hypocritical and a bit kind of weird. By the way, if you see me looking over that way a lot, it's because I've got my friend sitting in the room and I keep going for validation. Just ignore it, okay? I mean, every time I'm challenged with something like this, like with the conversation on Twitter and like with the comments I've had on my videos, I do actually pause and assess whether I'm actually being bigoted by saying that by saying that I disagree with what's going on, and also by kind of my language and my way of dealing with things. But in truth, I'm not sure that I do, because I don't particularly... I'm not sure that I am, because I'm not attacking people. I am not using deliberately kind of incendiary language, much as I might like to, but that's because of my own sort of feelings of anger and defensiveness on the topic. But I do try and sort of assess how I kind of speak to people about these things, because I don't want to be hurtful and I don't want to attack people, despite feeling like these people are attacking me and my friends. Now, I've got some more points. Give me a second. Okay, so this person that I'm talking about then goes on to say that these women's, like the TERF's concerns are valid. Meaning that being concerned about having someone that they consider to be male in a women's only space is somehow challenging and scary, whatever, like that sort of thing. I think what she's getting at is basically that trans women are potentially could be rapists. Now, I think I mentioned it in my previous video actually, I had a conversation with a TERF about the whole kind of trans women rapist thing, and she came up with some kind of outlandish kind of statistic when I said, look, could you show me some statistics to prove that there have been instances of trans women sort of being rapists or at least sexually assaulting people. And I think it was something as tiny as 21 incidents. Now, I'm not going to say that these events didn't happen, because I would never be one to negate a person's experiences on that front. But I am going to say this, 21 instances in the last year doesn't mean that all trans women are going to do that. It means that those 21 people, or, the people involved in those cases were. But it doesn't, it's a very kind of large leap to go from the 21 instances to all of these people are going to do this, or at least, you know, like a good portion of these people are going to do it. It's a bit like saying all men are rapists. It's not true. Um, I have more notes, so sorry for the pausing again. I can't. Again, I wish I could give you screenshots of the conversation. I don't have them because I think they've actually been deleted. Because I went and checked and there was mine and my friend's conversation visible to me, but not this person. However, I can see her other tweets, so I think they've been taken off. Maybe that's because I reported her for hate language. I don't know. Yeah, and as I said, you know, I'm not one to negate these experiences. I myself have been abused and raped across the sort of by people across the gender board, if you like. I'm not going to then say everyone is a rapist or every man is a rapist or every woman is going to be an abuser because or every I don't think no, I haven't actually had people that sort of identify as genderqueer, but you know, like I'm not going to sort of make these flash statements because these are isolated incidents in a very big world. And yeah, it just seems a bit kind of unfair to make that flash judgment and therefore that's the bigotry there. And you're hurting millions of people who are trying to just kind of live relatively ordinary lives. You're hurting millions of them by saying that this is, you know, by sort of producing false facts, fake news, if you like, to try and get people to follow your belief system. And sort of kind of showing a lack of understanding of what trans people go through in itself is bigoted, like with the gender debate that was televised here, when they had the kind of the turf women shouting things like, and I hate to say this, trigger warning, genital words mentioned here, but that, you know, they were shouting words like penis and things like that when I can't say her name, Monroe Bergdorf was speaking. That is incendiary, it's attacking, it's bigoted to me. And also, again, if you sort of look up various definitions of the word, I think you'll find it fits. Because it's hurtful and it's deliberate and it's nasty. Yeah. Basically, like, they're sort of deliberately kind of going into an area that they know is going to get sort of garner a response. There was an attack, I can't remember when it was, I want to say like this year sometime, but like February, March time, where a TERF had been picketing outside a trans event and was attacked by a trans woman. And if I remember rightly, I could be wrong with my sort of information here, but it was the trans woman that was charged, and yet the TERF got off with nothing but, well, bruising and etc. because she'd been using language, I think, shouting again things like penis and other kind of offensive language. And to me, I mean, I'm not condoning the trans woman's actions at all. I think in that case, you know, you should just try and sort of duck your head down and ignore, but it's very difficult when you're having that kind of abuse shouted at you. But I think, you know, in that case, I think both should have been sort of tried for some kind of assault, you know, verbal or otherwise. But anyway, that's my opinions on that. Yeah, so that's my definition of the term bigoted contextually. It's personal to me. I'm sure that there are people out there that would agree, but it's, you know, it kind of, I just kind of wanted to give a perspective to people who are maybe sort of TERF because they don't believe these things happen. I'm not even going to say that your beliefs are wrong. What I am going to say is that your way of sort of dealing with these things is incorrect. Like, for instance, I don't believe that what these TERFs are saying is correct. I do believe that if a person identifies as a particular gender, that's how they should be treated. But I'm not going to deliberately sort of use language to upset and antagonize people. That's, I think, the sort of core difference there. Anyway, good night, YouTube. And I hope this helps someone. Anyway, take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.